what we try to do is provide a space for the community to come, play, enjoy, have a good time, get together. We host everything, all kinds of tabletop games, board games, miniature games, card games, that kind of stuff.
It's really a big boon to have a shop like this that has dedicated play areas, so you don't have to have a 6-foot table at your house and 30 or 40 cubic feet worth of terrain.
They've just created an atmosphere with, if you look around the place, it's like a place you want to hang out.
It is also a very welcoming space. The staff and owners have gone really way above and beyond trying to make this a welcoming and inclusive space.
It's only fairly recently that Dungeons & Dragons has gone from a name that, a lot of people generally knew the basic name or concept of D&D, but they didn't really have a big understanding of it. Warhammer 40K, because it requires a unique and specialized space, a lot of the guys who play that game, they become extremely invested, and it becomes a lot of times their favorite lore, their favorite thing that they play and do and they talk about. And so I think a lot of times it can be overwhelming for new players and stuff.
There is a big trend, and always has been, towards more rules-heavy systems. Lately, that's been backing off. Like last 10 years or so, games have been trying to get easier to get into. Rule books are still, on average, 200-300 pages long.
And that's painted models and miniatures. So you're talking about little models that you build from plastic kits and paint them like you would a model car. Then you sit them on the battlefield and play and blow each other's stuff up in a metaphorical sense by rolling dice.
It's chess with more rules, which it doesn't necessarily make it a more complex game, but in some ways it is very complex. The skill ceiling for it is extremely high. Every time you win or you lose, you can get something from it that improves your game the next time.
People like being able to choose what they think is cool, or what they think is powerful, or what they think is going to win.
They are fighting to survive in a universe that is not very forgiving. And of course, they create this crazy universe because 10,000 kids around the world, and or grown-up kids, want to play miniature war games, and we want infinite little battles with our little plastic dudes. Well, you have to have a setting where that's going to occur.
The thrill of victory is unparalleled, particularly for a tough game. When you're losing, especially given the sometimes unbalanced nature of Warhammer 40K in particular, there can be some pretty substantial feel-bads.
I have friends who play Warhammer that play very much to play.
For them, it's about the competition. It's about the sport of playing.
There are also people that just enjoy the hobbying part.
For them, they're going to go home. It's very cathartic. They're going to sit down, relax. They like to paint, build, take their time with stuff.
But there's some people that they really just love the lore.
And then there's a lot of us who, honestly, they just want to meet people that have a similar interest, to hang out and play and have a good time.
So that's the other cool thing, is it brings together people who are just interested in painting, people who are just interested in sculpting, people who are just interested in playing the game.
They literally just enjoy cool looking models that they have taken so much time and so much of themselves into creating these amazing miniatures that they put in front of everybody.
I think this is probably one of the coolest Space Marine models, period. It's the Primarist Chaplain on a bike. Yeah, I'm not quite done with him. I still have to do like his purity seals and the book and stuff, but I just love this model. When I started playing Warhammer, the idea of dudes on bikes really bothered me for some reason. I was just like, this is like the 41st millennium. Why the hell are you riding bikes? Like, it's not, you're just gonna get shot.
Instead of guns, he's got this big old axe. This is actually a custom model by me. I had to kit bash it, take parts from several different kits. An orc choppa, a power axe, and a staff banner from an old fantasy kit to give this guy a cleaver rather than a gun.
He's basically just there to carry the banner. He's got a mechanical arm, which is kind of cool because it got blown off somewhere, I assume. That banner is a pain in the ass to paint.
Nurgle, instead of having flamethrowers, they have plague spewers. So they spurt noxious liquids and poxes all over their enemies.
Some of this is like, I'm 13 and I'm edgy, I'm gonna make up this weapon, which is kind of awesome though.
Mortarion. He is the demon Primarch of the Death Guard. Obviously a very large model that took a very long time to paint.
Like I play a good amount of video games, and I have for a while, and you do build communities in video games, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same as coming into a store. And that's one of the reasons tabletop games are so cool, is that it forces you to play with a real person. You can't just be some dickhead online.
It's not just that person's excitement. Everyone around the table, the entire atmosphere that's created, it's the, where everybody's breath is held for that split second when the dice finally rolls, and whether you make it or not to survive the ultimate challenge.
When you're rolling dice, it's not just a click of a button. It's you roll the dice and watch them land, and there's the whole pageantry of the process.
It's simultaneously mentally engaging and socially engaging. It's an outlet for your mental creativity, and it keeps you sharp.
Play games to relax, to entertain ourselves, but also to learn and grow. Children's games are there not just to be fun, but also to impart lessons. And that, extends to games that everybody plays. Whether it's basic math or probability, or things like positional strategy, or further than that, how to lose gracefully.